the madhouse.
All right, cheers to episode 43.
Cheers.
Ooh,
Water.
a vodka martini stirred.
Should have been shaken, but I'm drinking water.
Should have been shaken. I ran out of time. I didn't shake it. I didn't even want to drink, but one of our biggest fans in the world, Alex's dad, wants us to drink because we're more fun. So I felt like I had to. Today is Sunday, October 24th, 7:35 p.m., 2021, the year 2021. And we did it. We're here. The 7-0 matchup is within sights. Nobody fumbled the bag. Nobody Kevin from the Office chili gif and dropped the stew everywhere. We survived. How's it feel? First of all.
Nerve-wracking.
Yes, I think that's a good phrase.
It's Sunday. I mean, it's rivalry week. It's nerve-wracking.
It's hate week, actually. You guys want to get your hate out?
You're not going to keep that in there.
Maybe I'll blur it.
Yeah.
I hate you guys.
I hate everything about Michigan. I despise that program. I despise every single fan that roots for him.
Yeah, you hate me. Yeah.
Despise you.
Yeah, you guys stink.
I don't think this is healthy.
I don't
think this is super healthy.
This is definitely healthy. You gotta let it all from your chest, man. You can't hold it in.
This is super serious. I'm not joking at all. It's hate week. You smell, actually, though.
Kind of like B.O.
I smell fine.
You have any hate in your heart from me?
Yeah, but it's not Michigan related. I just don't like you as a person.
Well, that's too far. Let's not get personal now.
No.
Okay.
No, we just went on the field. And run our mouth after.
All right. In all seriousness, no. Oh, well, Evan said nerve-wracking. How are you feeling about it, Alex?
Tensions are high.
Tensious. That's what he...
Tensions are high.
Is tensious a word?
Tensions?
Tensious. I said tensious. You're tensious.
I don't think that's a word.
I would say so.
Urban Dictionary said it's the adjective of the word tension, which is what I meant. You're tensious. You're wound up and you're texting because you're nervous.
No, tensions are high. I'm not nervous. They're just high tensions.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm not nervous. I'm excited.
I am not excited.
And that's on brand for you, Evan, because you didn't even want Michigan State ranked. Or you still don't.
He was happy.
I still don't. That's
that Michigan's ranked higher.
Now,
he's happy about it.
Outside of how you're feeling, we have an assignment to finish that we can do it by the end of the show. Unless you guys can think fast on your feet. With a game this big, this is where the nerds come in and they stat check us or fact check us. I believe this is the first top 10 matchup between the two since 1964. I've seen someone post about that, so I'm taking their word for it. I won't ask the question of how big but bottom line is the matchup's big, okay? We'll get to if it's the biggest ever later. It's big. And games this big get names. You know, there's certain games that are huge that get named. And I think this one's big enough going into the game that it has to have a name going in, and then the name can change after the game depending on what happens. Like the Bush Push. What's the Michigan State 2015 game actually called? What do state fans call that?
Nothing.
It's not like Punt 6 or... Oh, it's called Trouble with the Snap. That's what that game's called. People call that the Trouble with the Snap game.
I would say Trouble with the Snap.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Kick 6 was Alabama-Auburn. The game is Michigan-Ohio State, typically. I have an idea for this game already. I don't want you guys to just jump on it because it's so good and be like, yeah, let's just do that. I want you guys to think either now, on the spot, or you can save it to the end of the show, come up with a name for this game. My first thought, no idea it's a bad idea, is this game is called Bloodshed in the Woodshed.
It's pretty good.
Aggressive.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, it's solid. It's going to be tough to beat.
A little aggressive, like we're going to war and mass murder. But with the Woodshed, I wanted to play on the Woodshed, even though I think it's a joke of a stadium nickname. I wanted to incorporate that in the name for the game.
I don't have one yet.
Okay,
That's
so Alex is
what
not quick to think on his feet.
I was thinking of some things, and they're just dumb. So I'll try to come up with one during the show.
Okay. Anything from you, Evan, out the gate?
Off the gate? No, I don't think so.
Okay. So until further notice, it's called Bloodshed in the Woodshed. But before we get into that game, we have the Lions that we just watched. We just wrapped it up because, amazingly enough, they were a 4:05 game this week. America's game of the week, not nationally, but to us. It was the game I was the most excited to watch for today. And it was the first one I actually got to sit down and watch all of with no distractions. And boy, do I have some different takeaways about this team.
They looked different.
Based on what I saw today. Now, Alex is doing the classic, well, granted. They're playing like this for you because they know your eyeballs are on them today. They don't normally look like this. The first thing that I'll lead off is a question for you guys. Do the Lions have the best special teams in the league?
No.
No.
Oh, guys.
They haven't returned a kick or a punt. So, no.
But the conversions.
It's hard to return punch when you don't stop anybody, Alex, though.
Right. Sure. Do you want the Lions to be the best at something?
Yes.
All right. They're the best special teams unit.
They objectively were today.
Today, absolutely.
Yes. Collectively, and around the NFL, they were the best special teams today.
Absolutely.
Without checking that, it has to be true. What other team converted that many? Two fake punts and an onside kick. And I don't think they missed a field goal.
They didn't. They never do.
So maybe firing our special teams coach last year was the best move this organization's ever made, Evan.
I would say no.
Okay, I'll pump the brakes on that as well. Just want to see how far we could go. Outside of that, which do you guys? I think we'd all agree that we all liked it. Like, just throw the kitchen sink at them. It's a game. Probably it felt like the biggest game of the season going into it. It probably will be
Super Bowl.
Well, obviously, if this team is on track to go 0-17, the game every game that's next will be the biggest game of the season because you don't want to go 0-17. But so far, assuming they do win other games, this was the Lions Super Bowl, like Alex said, because of the whole revenge factor.
And because we suck.
Were you rooting for the Lions, Evan? Be honest.
Well, I was hoping for a good game, and I told myself right before the kickoff, I said there's either two things that are going to happen. One, the Lions are going to get the ball and score on the first drive, which they did, or we're not going to cross the 50-yard line until the second half. I always told myself, do not get excited because you know how this is going to end up.
So, were you rooting for the Lions?
Yeah, well, you just did coach speak.
Yeah, was I cheering for the Lions? I would say yes. I was cheering.
So, no.
Did you ever stand up off your couch when Stafford made an impressive throw? Is that like when he found Cup? Were you like stand up like, yeah?
I did not stand up for when Stafford made a good throw. I did stand up when we did the onside kick after we scored the touchdown though, because more of a shell shocked factor in that one. But I was cheering for Stafford.
Okay, so very in between. If we're being honest, I was rooting for Van Jefferson because I started him in fantasy football.
Witnessed it. It was bullshit.
And he performed well. I also was rooting for Amon-Ra St. Brown, who got 0 points. And that was one of my points I had, was throw the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown more because he's talented. And they didn't really at all.
I was rooting for the Lions the whole game, start to finish. Never rooted for the Rams one time. So shout out me for being the only fan.
Well, we know that if you owned, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, or Tyler Higbee, I think you'd be rooting a little bit differently.
Potentially. But that didn't happen today. So I was all in on the Lions.
Amon didn't even have a catch. I don't even know if he had any targets.
And the Lions offense really helps me out in other avenues.
Any other big bullet points you guys have from this game that you want to get into?
There's a lot of fans going around saying that the Jared Goff is holding back the offense, and I would say
Evan likes
not really. Because the entire offense is holding back the entire offense.
I like that. The standard is the standard.
One good athlete on the field, and that is DeAndre Swift, and it showed today. Cleve Raymond looked good. He was one guy that actually could draw separation. I think that was just matchup situations. But Goff did throw an interception in the red zone, and he hit Swift on what could have been a touchdown earlier in the game, at the end of the third quarter.
Bad miss.
Let's get into both those plays.
Bad miss.
So the Swift one was devastating. I don't know what percent are you laying blame on each. I don't know who to blame because it just was a miscommunication. One person, Swift, stuttered his feet. I don't. Who's fault is that? It's Bobby both, right?
I'm blaming Jared Goff.
I'm blaming Goff because I think Goff read it was a zone coverage, but if you see there's like a wide receiver on the outside and it drags like a defender with him. And I think when Swift broke through the line, he's reading it. He's reading man-to-man with the linebacker. So I think in Swift's eyes, he has an option on either sit if it's zone or go to the sideline if it's man. And I think he said, I'm beating that linebacker to the pylon.
Yeah.
Throw it to me.
He chopped.
And that's what he did. And Goff threw it down like he was going to sit.
He chopped his feet, and I don't know if he was chopping his feet because he trusted Goff to know he was doing that to fake the defender out or what, but the feet chop is what triggered Jared to think he was sitting, and he was just going to take the completion there when it would have been I'm not going to say walking touchdown because there was a guy there that could have an angle on him, but it would have been a good chance. At least the first time, it probably would have been a touchdown. So that stunk. And then the play that I guess sealed the game was overall catastrophe. In the moment, I didn't really notice it until they came back from commercial break and they had Mark Sanchez break down the route. First of all, I believe we had 3 tight ends in the game based on a tweet I saw that I forgot. So I have some eyebrow raising on Anthony Lynn right there. Just I didn't enjoy the play call that and again, it's like, is it the guys running the routes fault? But anytime you're running a double post like that with 2 tight ends who are slower guys, I mean, in a simple way, when I think about playing the football game, Madden or NCAA football, I don't think double post has worked in the history of that game, really. And it just, especially with 2 tight ends who are on the line of scrimmage, it's a lot of trust in them to get that much separation when you're in the red zone. The more I talk about how stupid that route concept was, and I should just cut to the chase, that you're trying to run like skinny posts that close to the red zone with 2 white tight ends. Like, where's the separation coming from?
Race card.
Oh, Alex, don't be
It's
a
even worse because Jalen Ramsey's been covering Hockenson all game.
He was.
And then down towards the red zone, you knew Ramsey was going to be on him.
And so the route's bad. Okay, so for the Jared Goff haters, please hold. The protection was bad. There's this guy in the Rams called Aaron Donald who's really good at rushing the passer, and he was barely blocked on that play. So that's bad. So again, Jared Goff haters, please hold. Now for the Jared Goff hate, you try to force it with Aaron Donald in his face towards Jalen Ramsey. So basically 2 of the best players in the Rams are affecting the play, and then you're choosing to go at that matchup, and you lose. So it was also a pretty great interception too. Like it was a wobbly duck because I think his arm did get hit or the ball got tipped or something. Like it wasn't a clean throw, obviously. Aaron Donald's in his face. So it was all around gross. It was kind of a summary of the Lions game and the season as we talked about several games with Alex, talking about how the red zone turnovers continue to pile up for this team.
2 today.
2 more today. Add them to the list.
Oh, they turned it over on downs in the red zone.
That's a turnover.
I don't know how that counts into the metrics. It should be a turnover.
That's a turnover in my stats, in our national stats.
Yep. And they should have kicked the field goal on that too, but that's another debate. Whatever.
That was a different one.
That was earlier in the game.
Yeah, you want to backpack to that one. That one I did write down in all caps, moronic. So
2nd and 1.
It was 16-17. I think it was early in the 4th or late in the 3rd. It was in that stretch of the game. And they get down to a 3rd and 1. I hate the play call to begin with. It was an A-gap run with Swift. Gets stuffed. And then they do this like Michigan football where they no huddle, hurry up, and then run the same exact play. And guess what? It gets stuffed again. So there's 2 things wrong there. One, you could have kicked the field goal to go up 19-17. Seibert has not missed, and you can take the lead. And at least your defense is not playing bad at all. So there's a bright spot for later. Remind yourself, Aaron Glenn doing a solid job with no talent. Okay, so you try to go for it, and the go for it play was just copy and pasting your 3rd and 1 attempt. I mean, how lazy is that? DeAndre Swift, like Evan said, is one of the best athletes on the field, and you're sticking him in a phone booth with Aaron Donald and Sebastian Joseph Day, who's barrels out, and he's just bullying people. So that was moronic. It was really stupid and bad play calling, so I think I am mentally keeping track of what Anthony Lynn does from here on out. Any thoughts from you guys on that whole sequence or any other things in the game?
Just sucked. I mean, it's just a
No,
reflection of what's
I
happening.
won't say that. It was a fun game. It was an entertaining
No,
game.
I
It was a good product.
I wasn't saying the game. I meant just that play sequence that you just broke.
Yeah, the sequence was bad. I think you're trying to catch them off guard, but at some point, you just got to realize that their athletes are better than your athletes. And even if you do catch them off guard, like their athletes are just going to play football and make a play, and that's what they did.
And they're a well-coached team, so it's hard to catch
True.
disciplined teams off guard like that.
Game was all right, decently exciting. The Lions scored some points for the first time in a while, felt like. And they still didn't even score 20, but, the offense, started off with a bang with a screenplay to Swift, which maybe we should run that more.
We did get Swift involved earlier in the game than past games,
Yeah.
which was nice.
A lot of targets.
I still would like to see Swift take the first handoff of the game.
I'm not going to die on that hill.
Just to make you feel comfy, like, you know what? I can say
I will die on that hill.
so the nerds can't, push their glasses and say, well, technically, Jamal Williams is the starter.
He did run the ball better today. Jamal did.
He did?
12 for 57. Swift was 13 for 48.
Okay.
Splitting hairs.
Damn, Swift is a receiver at this point.
8 for 96 for Swift.
Bobby Price did not know who that was going into this game.
Well, when you look at the receiving box score, you realize that the only receivers on the Lions are Khalif Raymond, Swift, and Hawkinson. And one of them plays receiver.
Amon St. Brown.
Well, he didn't even have a target.
Say something nice about Jared Goff. I'll go first. Jared Goff fit a nice, tight pass into Khalif Raymond that was a pickup of 30-plus yards. I also thought it was picked in the moment. It was a tight window.
Something nice?
Something nice? You have anything nice to say about Jared Goff?
He didn't fumble.
No, he cup checked himself.
Yeah, he held on to
he hit himself right in the groin with the
near
football.
strip sack.
Goff had a good first quarter.
That feels good to say.
True.
Say something nice.
He was 5 for 10 for 99 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter.
65 of them were on a 4-yard throw.
Well, hey, now we're splitting hairs. I'm just saying he had a nice first quarter.
Jared Goff stinks.
Wait, what were those stats again, Evan?
I think it was 5 for 10 worth 99 yards and a touchdown.
That's about 127.6 QBR, I'd say.
Yep.
63 was one play.
Yeah, but that's good quarterback play. Get the ball to your athletes.
Great job, Jared.
Absolutely.
Say something nice about the defense that also makes me feel better about myself egotistically. Julian Okwara having a little mini breakout season here. Seems to be flying around the football, getting sacks, making pass breakups with not even looking at the football. I feel like he looks like a pretty good athlete out there as an edge rusher.
Yeah. We made a stop on 4th and 1. That's a nice thing I'll say. That was cool. And Julian Okwara made the play.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Reeves-Maybin is still the best tackler on this team. It's not even close.
I do enjoy watching him play. He brings that special teams mentality to defense, and it's good to see. Another thing that kind of bit us in the butt, I told the country on this show last week, to stop the Rams is super duper simple. Stop Cooper Kupp. And they didn't. And honestly, I know Robert Woods is there. I know Van Jefferson's there. I know Tyler Higbee's there. But the more I watch this Rams team, if you just double team Cooper Kupp every play, I think your chances of winning go up 20%. I think I'm not saying that Cooper Kupp is Michael Jordan and you let everyone else around him beat you, but it feels like it. It feels like you just dare Van Jefferson to beat you. You dare someone else to beat you. You dare check downs to Darrell Henderson to beat you. Why can't teams stop Cooper Kupp, especially the Lions? I don't get it.
Concepts. Sean McVay's pretty good at that. Getting people open, getting their playmakers open. I mean, you saw it on Thursday Night Football when Kupp wasn't as open against Seattle. They just threw it 40 times to Robert Woods. I really don't think the Lions were going to win even if Cooper Kupp was doubled. But that being said, Cooper Kupp is a phenomenal football player. Very good player. Always open. Don't know how he does it.
I don't know.
Tough to stop, though, with Sean McVay at the helm.
Evan, do you have anything else on the game? All I have is one more stupid point that I found out today.
I do not have anything else on the game.
My hands are the same size as Jared Goff's.
Confirmed. Measured.
Mine are bigger.
So we looked it up mid-game. How big are Jared Goff's hands for real? Reports out of Google where they're 9 inches. And somehow, surprisingly enough, Jared Goff is 6'4". I don't think he looks 6'4", but it says he's 6'4". And it says that 9 inches is slightly below average hand size for a 6'4" man. So it is factually correct to say baby hands, I think, in that sense, since they are below average. I am pushing 6'3". I haven't measured myself in a while. So I would say 9 inches, I'm right around average for that height. And Alex, who is hammering the baby hands Goff movement, is a whopping 10 inches.
Big hands.
So
And
I think
pushing 6 foot.
he's justified to say baby hands. And you know what they say about guys with big hands?
Big feet.
They need big keyboards and big gloves.
Yep.
That personality.
Do they say that?
Oh.
It's
That's
hate week.
mean.
It's hate week.
Oh,
Yeah, but we're on the same side.
yeah, we are. Oh, I thought we were naming things people with big hands have. My bad.
That was super.
That was awesome. All right. Well, the lie downs lied down. We'll see how they do next week. I didn't even put them in the teaser part or the preview part, but I think I do need to add them in. There'll be some excitement for that game as we found out this weekend, so we'll get to that later in the show. Now, I would like to move to college football. Now, wait. Sorry.
You missed the weekend recap.
Before that, we're not going to do all the scores thing, 'cause it takes a while, and I don't know. There's a lot of blowouts today, I feel like. But any around the NFL observations that you need to get out of your chest?
I would like to get one.
No. You stop it. I'm opening the floor to Evan first. He's wearing the jersey.
Oh, man.
Lighten up, baby. I mean, it was a absolute beatdown. You know, I was expecting that type of beatdown to happen in LA. No, it happened in Nashville, Tennessee. The Kansas City Chiefs have died in Nashville on October 24th. It's officially over. Kiss their dreams goodbye. Dynasty's over.
Super dramatic.
Not an overreaction, too.
Did the dynasty even begin? People are wondering. Alex, thoughts? Crickets.
I think it was a bad game for the Kansas City Chiefs today. I think they struggled mightily in all 3 phases of the football game. And they're looking forward to next week, bouncing back. And I do not think the Kansas City Chiefs have died yet. I think they still have life. They're only 3-4. They're all right. They'll be fine. Mahomes did get double crunched. That was tough to watch.
It was at the end of the game. It was already over with.
No, I'm saying for next week if he's out,
He already cleared concussion protocol and is expected to practice next week.
Well, you are on top of your
Wow. That is breaking, I think. My only observations from what I saw today in the NFL is the Bengals are legit, I think.
They're pretty good.
Playoff team.
And the Lions would beat the Jets.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
Lions would beat the Panthers.
Oh.
Lions would beat the Giants.
Lions would beat the Texans.
Lions would beat the Jags.
No.
Oh, come on, Evan. Urban?
Davis Mills or Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Sam Darnold or Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Mike White or Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
He looked good today. You guys should watch his highlights.
I will not.
Daniel Jones or Jared Goff?
Daniel Jones.
Jared Goff.
All right.
Jared Goff or Mike Glennon?
Jared Goff.
Now I have a real one. Taylor Heineke or Jared Goff?
Taylor Heineke all day.
Still?
Still. 100% still.
He's looked pretty bad.
Justin Fields or Jared Goff?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, because I can say, oh, he's a rookie.
Okay. In tonight's game coming up, Carson Wentz or Jared Goff?
Carson Wentz.
Probably Carson Wentz, to be honest.
I would take Jared Goff. But that's just because I've said a lot of mean things about Carson Wentz over the years, and I can't backpedal this easily. All right. Well, that was your quarterback check-in. And Evan's second team destroyed Alex's second team. And for me, we'll find out my second team when the Lions are officially statistically eliminated, which somehow they are not yet because it's so early in the season. But that'll be coming, and I'll have a lot of research to do. Last year, so my two backup teams have been the Seahawks and the Bills in the past. I don't think I'm allowed to repeat, so I think I have to go find a new team.
Just a question. If the backup team does not reach the postseason, do we get to declare another team for the postseason?
I mean, I think, well, no, you're not allowed to get off the Chiefs until they're statistically eliminated. And
I know when they're statistically eliminated.
Oh, shoot. It's a when, not an if.
If they are.
Dang.
I also make it.
Well, it'd be pretty soft if you did because you already had a secondary team, so I don't know. Some of us like to ride or die with the Lions.
I'm still riding.
I've been dying a lot.
I've died. I've never really rid.
Oh, I just realized, guys, we didn't do a weekend recap.
I said that a few minutes ago.
Basically, we all hung out with each other in East Lansing, Michigan to celebrate a birthday weekend, and we went to a pumpkin patch.
Cider mill, guys. Come on.
A cider mill. Uncle John's. I never got to meet Uncle John. Not sure if he roams the place.
No, he did. He told us to drive down the grass. That was him.
Nice picked out some pumpkins. We went bar review of East Lansing. I feel like there's a lot of East Lansing people that listen to the show. Grant's first time going to Dublin in a night scene setting. I've been there during COVID for dinner. First of all, as if someone going there the first time, the path to get to the dance floor in Dublin is pretty crazy. I don't think it's laid out very smart. I don't know. It just felt really weird that there's that big bar there and everyone's trying to order drinks while also slide through against the wall to get through the bathrooms. And then there's a bathroom line and then the dance floor. Whoever invented that setup is really stupid. Think about when you walk into Rick's. The dance floor is right there to your left and the bar is right there in front of you and the bathrooms are in the back where they should be. So Dublin's a little weird, but I will say this. It made up for it because I like the dance floor setting. I don't know. I liked how the bar was wrapped around right there. And then the music was really good. I think that's what I liked. It was good. There was actually words to songs. Chop Harper's for their strong EDM at points. Now, per Alex's request, we don't have to go into the nitty gritty details of the excitement of the night. But I will just say this: let's crack down on fake IDs in East Lansing because we can't have 18-year-old punks and twerps doing dumb in the bars. Okay. Someone's going to get hurt.
Yep.
That's not a threat. That's just, I've watched people get hurt.
It's a promise.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to cut down on that. It ruins my night in more ways than
Keep
one.
your hands to yourself. Don't touch other people's hats.
Correct.
Yeah.
God, even just talking about now gets me fired up. It's so absurd to do. Anyways, anything else that I missed from the weekends, guys, that was funny? Oh, I mean, we all super hungover the next day. So I'm not sure if we're washed or not. But
I didn't really feel that bad at all.
Because you didn't drink.
Right. Never have.
Chop.
I think that was pretty much it.
That's it.
We saved ourselves for this weekend. But I say that even though
you guys wearing on Halloween?
Even though I'm probably not going. Whoa, dude! We can do it at the end.
Oh, spoilers!
Yeah. Okay, so we did around the NFL. Now we're to Michigan versus Northwestern recap.
Oh God!
Snooze fest, McGee.
Great, you take care of this one. I'm going to take a nap.
Michigan won 33-7. The first half, it was a tale of two halves. See if you guys agree with me here. This was a classic game that I would say if you just check the final box score, you'd be like, wow, that was just another blowout. But as a panicked Michigan fan, it felt closer than it was. It felt grosser than it was. Obviously, they made plays in all facets of the game in the second half to blow it out. So they still had a great second half and more so just a third quarter. But I didn't come away from this game feeling more confident about next weekend, I guess is how I would summarize the game in a big picture landscape.
Yeah, it was definitely closer because as someone that had a chance to win a substantial amount of coin, it was really disappointing. That
Matt Fitzgerald is allergic to scoring points.
Yeah, couldn't score.
I forgot that was devastating.
3 more points.
No pride in Northwestern.
Maybe Mint Money would be talking about me this week, but I guess not because I didn't hit it because of Northwestern. But yeah, I wouldn't feel any more confident in Michigan based on that game if I was a Michigan fan. And I'm not any more worried. And in fact, maybe less worried after what I watched on Saturday.
Evan, big picture thoughts from the game? You saw a decent amount of it.
I did. Big picture thoughts. I would say I think you need to start running away from teams like this earlier. Obviously, Northwestern came out somewhat decent first play, couple of drives.
The actual first play, yeah, it was their best play. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the highlight. Well, besides their long touchdown run, the only reason they scored.
True.
Big picture put away. Michigan's front is solid on defense. Is their offensive line solid going forward? There's a lot of rushing stats, but is that just eye candy? And is there like front five actually?
This could be a
solid?
hot take, Evan. I think Grant's pretty different stance in that department.
I like the O-line.
Well, you love them.
I do.
So that could be a point of discussion.
For the preview. Now, troll Grant, though, also not feeling great about, Michigan going into next week after this game because they kind of they just won the biggest rivalry trophy they're going to be able to have a chance to lift this year with the George Jewett trophy. So you kind of get all your excitement out, with that trophy. So not sure if you really can get up for the Paul Bunyan trophy after lifting the George Jewett trophy.
No comment.
Yeah.
Not responding to trolls.
Without being too R or X rated, the JJ McCarthy striptease show continues. I wrote that from this game, talking about how they just
expect to hear that.
They just keep teasing JJ McCarthy. Like they give you a little taste here and there. He makes some ooh and ah throws. He extended a fourth down play that was like an NCAA football play. Got called back for a holding, but still the fact that he made the play was super impressive. I guess another thing, I'd be curious to see how other Michigan fans feel about it, if they could pull them. I feel as if I'm at the point where I can relate to Chicago Bears fans of like their past teams, where just watching the defense is the most fun part of the game, which is not really how football wants to be. That's not how I enjoy football, but that's I like seeing how Hutchinson and Hill and Josh Ross and all these guys are going to blow up the offense that they're facing, as opposed to I almost get nervous and want to go to sleep when the offense takes the field, which is not great. I've honestly gotten to the point, as much as I joke about Big Ten football buffets, I'm starting to love them or appreciate the craft of them. You know how in baseball, when it's a pitcher's duel, I equate it to that when Scherzer and Kershaw are going at it and it's 0-0 in the eighth and everyone, a lot of people hate it and those weird sickos that enjoy it. I'm starting to become the sicko that likes 0-0 after the first quarter. And to be honest, when Michigan was backed up on the first drive of the game on their 5 and picked up a first down on 3rd and 6, I fist pumped and said, yep, winning the field position battle. So then when we punt, inevitably, they have longer to go. And then when they punt, we're at the 40 and that's when we strike. That's what I'm rooting for now in games. I'm fist pumping about field position wins. Is that crazy or what?
Yes.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. As a Michigan State fan of the 2018-2019 team, you do not have high expectations for the rest of the year if you're expecting a Big Ten buffet every single weekend. And you're going to be disappointed in a lot of games at the outcome of them.
You're just not going to win all the games doing that. You can't do that. It doesn't work.
Why not
I've watched it. It won't work. When Ohio State hangs 50 and you score 10, that's not enough. Clearly not enough.
If anyone wants,
anyways, just didn't mean to drop my prediction for that game, but
if anyone wants any just quick stats here, so Caden McNamara, 20 of 27, 129 yards, no touchdowns, no picks.
Heisman.
That may not. I'm not sure. I've seen many games where he didn't actually throw a touchdown pass, but again, continues a no turnover theme, so that's good.
Heisman.
McCarthy was 3 of 5 for 34 yards. And then the bread and butter of the game, the two-headed combo of Corum and Haskins. Corum was 19 carries for 119, 6.3 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Haskins, 23 for 110, 4.8 per carry, 2 touchdowns. They pretty much just alternate, I feel week to week, of who was the more impressive yards per carry and total yards. So kind of was able to put Northwestern in the metaphorical phone booth. And then receiving-wise, it was just a mix of everyone. I guess, if anything, Eric All having 5 catches is a little surprising because he usually doesn't get to that mark. But, credit where credit's due. DJ Turner had one of the more impressive interceptions I've seen for this team. I would say it had to be second best on the year because Daxton Hills was still better. But it was it was almost like a basketball-esque play where he broke it up and then tipped it over the guy to himself. And that, I believe DJ Turner's a true sophomore, so impressive and happy for him to make a play after he's had a lot of defensive pass interference calls. so far this year. I think he started wearing gloves now. He used to just tape his fingers. So I think maybe that had a factor. And if I was a reporter, that's probably what I would ask him in the postgame. That's all I have for Michigan Northwestern. Any closing thoughts on that before we go to more national college football?
It's extremely underwhelming.
You're not nervous.
I didn't even say anything about Michigan State. I just said that game was extremely underwhelming from a non-biased college football reporter.
Well, maybe if you appreciate field position battles more.
You shouldn't be in field position battles with a quote from you, JV football team.
Yeah, but thank goodness I don't have to spin zone because it ended up being a blowout score.
Yeah, sure.
Haskins the ball more. He's your best player on offense.
Wow, so there's a little beef there between Evan and Alex. So Haskins versus Corman. I'm just sitting in the
Well, I don't really care.
Have you flipped?
I'll take Kenneth Walker. It's hate week.
Making it about Michigan State. But it is hate week, so you're allowed to do that.
Yep, I'm allowed to be as ignorant as I please.
All right, so around the NCAA, you'll see it with our rankings, but we did have a wild upset against Penn State. Evan called that. He said Penn State's frauds. He said James Franklin's a fraud. And it was, they almost was like they listened to the show about could a college football game tie, and they wanted to do it. They just wanted to see how long they could go. And I really wanted to see 10th OT on the board because like having double digits OTs would look ridiculous. But they didn't get there. There were some other scares. But this just leads me to this. Because it's become a weekly installment here is our top 10 college football rankings. College football playoff rankings. Still the one and only playoff rankings that exist until the committee releases theirs or anyone else steals this segment. But they are playoff rankings. And I think we're going to see how each of us views these rankings differently this week. Based on the numbers, because I'm doing something a little probably crazy here. So, do one of you want to start?
I'll go first.
All right, I love that enthusiasm, Evan. Lay it on us.
All right, number 1, Georgia. Number 2, still Oklahoma. 3, Bama.
Whoa.
You don't get to ask questions while he's reading. He gets to read his whole top 10.
Well, I'm going to get lost in the shuffle because I'm not going to remember. But Oklahoma stays at 2.
Yeah, they won.
Well, you wait till you see Grant's.
You're not
He doesn't
worried
value
about
winning.
You're not worried about them almost losing to the worst Power 5 team in the country.
I am not. Nope.
Okay.
Ruckus crowd there. I'm sorry.
Three tickets.
3.
4 is Ohio State. 3 is Bama. 4 is Ohio State.
Okay.
5, Cincinnati. 6, Michigan. 7, Michigan State.
Asterisk.
Ole Miss is at 8. Oregon is 9, and Wake Forest is 10.
Ew. You just keep putting bad teams at number 10.
Alex, you almost put them at 10 last week. Why are they a bad team?
Because they gave up
Great point, Evan.
56 points to Army.
Because they respect their troops. They gave them a fighting chance, like everybody should.
Overall, I don't really disagree too much.
Ooh, remind me to use that.
You're going to hate my number 10, so I'm pumped for it. My number 1, you want me to go?
Yeah, you should go.
Is Georgia. Number 2, Alabama.
Okay.
3, Ohio State.
Okay.
4, Cincinnati. 5, Oklahoma. 6, Michigan State. 7, Michigan. 8, Ole Miss. 9, Oregon. 10. Anybody guesses? Texas A&M. 10.
I guess. What's their record? They lost one
They
game?
lost 2 times.
Oh, jeez. You can't be in the top 10 with 2 losses unless it's the
When
Georgia
you beat
and
Alabama.
If you lose to Georgia and Alabama, and then you win. Who they lost to?
They had a bad early season, a couple of early season losses. What can I say? They figured it out.
All right, guys, buckle up for these. Mine might be called the overreaction rankings. After you hear them. 1, Georgia, no surprises. 2, Alabama. 3, Ohio State. 4, Oregon Ducks.
Gross.
5, Cincinnati. They respected the troops by letting Navy crawl back into the game. 6, Michigan State.
Oh, hedging.
7, they won the bye week. 7, Michigan. 8, Oklahoma. 9,
Overreaction.
9, Ole Miss. And 10, Kentucky.
Kentucky, because you're obsessed with them.
Kentucky, because
They're your backup team.
they hung with Georgia. And they had a bye week, so they didn't hurt themselves.
They hung with Georgia. Quote.
They did.
On a t-shirt. We're a top 10 team because we hung with Georgia.
Yes.
Scored a touchdown.
Raise the banner.
They should make t-shirts, number 10 Kentucky, back, hung with Georgia.
The only thing I hate about your rankings is that you have Oregon at 4 and Oklahoma at 8. I think if you swap those, I could be good with it.
Well, here's my thought process.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Or I want to give it to you, because I know there's going to be little Jimmy on TikTok say, Oregon at 4, they lost to Stafford.
Well, they did.
Guess what? They beat Ohio State. They objectively have the best win in the country.
No. Texas A&M does.
No, they don't. Texas A&M played Alabama at home. Oregon went to Ohio State without 2 of their best defensive players and beat Ohio State, who is now...
And they played at noon, and so their time it was 9 a.m.
They beat them at 9 a.m. They didn't even finish their scrambled eggs.
So who would win, Alabama or Ohio State?
Alabama.
Ohio State.
So we're split, so then we can take...
All right, I guess you can keep that.
And, yes, did they lose to Stanford? Sure, but they still only have 1 loss. And I'll be honest, I still think UCLA is a solid football team this year, and then they went to the Rose Bowl and beat them in a tight game. I'm not going to knock them. People are like, oh, they barely beat UCLA. Yeah, UCLA is a good football team. That was an impressive win, especially because they don't have their best running back anymore. So they haven't done anything to really...
Well, Stanford sucks.
Okay.
I mean, they're bad. They're 3-4.
Texas A&M beat Colorado 10-7.
They won that game, Evan, and you said that you put
I did not know that.
wins.
That helps my argument. So that's why. They had the best win in the country.
And I didn't put Texas A&M at 4, Evan. He has Oregon in the college football playoff, and they lost to a team that struggled with Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Lost to Arizona State. Lost to Washington State.
Here's where we differ the most, Alex, is that you value who'd you lose to or who'd you almost lose to, and I value who can you beat. Who did you go to the horseshoe and beat?
What do you mean? Texas A&M beat Alabama, if that's what we're still discussing.
No, I'm not. I don't care about Texas A&M. They have 2 losses. They can't. If Oregon had 2 losses, they wouldn't be 4. I'm telling you that right now. They'd be out of my top 10.
Who's your top 4 one more time?
Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and Oregon. I see no flaws with that. And then Cincinnati stayed at 5. I wanted to drop them, but also for you Navy, for the people that are like, oh, they was tight. They was not tight. They were up like 27-10, and they let Navy crawl back into game, and they were respecting the troops. And then Michigan State jumped. They won the bye week. Michigan didn't look good against Northwestern. Oklahoma drops a lot because they struggled with Kansas. That would be the only overreaction. Then Ole Miss and Kentucky.
On to the next segment.
On to the next. The game. The bloodshed at the woodshed. Right now I have it as Michigan -3.5 per FanDuel Sportsbook at Michigan State.
Grant wanted to find the line that was a little less so he could feel better about himself.
No, I did not do that.
It opened at -4.
So are you saying that every show in the past we've done the opening lines? Because we have not. I know it for a fact. I go to this site and I look at what the line is.
What is it?
We're way up here. 3.5.
All right. 3.5. Which, based on what Evan explained to us last week about spreads, that is really a 7.5. But because Michigan State's home, it gets bumped down 3 points.
Michigan's underdogs in my book in my sports book if we're asking.
Do you have a sports book?
No. Grant's Casino. Over under 51.5, which borders right on the Big Ten football buffet. So we have a bunch of different ways to break this game down. I don't know where the best place is to start. Has anyone combed through these and said what makes the most sense? Should we get into logistics of the game?
I think we should talk first about weather.
Okay.
Michigan fans love to cherry pick weather. So let's talk about the weather beforehand.
Anyone know what the weather's going to be? Speaking of weather.
Yes. Cloudy, overcast in the morning with showers developing in the afternoon. Low. Well, the high of the day is to be 54. Not looking good for kickoff. Right around probably low 50s, high 40s. Winds coming out of the northwest, so it's a chilly air.
Wait, why is it chilly out of the northwest? Northern air?
It's usually
Southern air is warmer.
Correct.
Come on, Grant.
What if it's blowing out of the northwest?
Yeah, that
Does it
means
mean
it's
it's-
like blowing from Canada, which is
Okay.
usually cold.
I see 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. Those don't scare me unless it gets up to 20. When it gets to 20, then I get a little nervous. So as it stands right now, wind should not be a factor, really. The sun, as Evan said, will not come up until 8:09, so we will be tailgating in the dark. Start.
What time is the rain supposed to hit?
Not until later in the day. Time, I cannot confirm that as of right now.
Okay, well, can we agree as a podcast that none of us will make an excuse that the weather caused the team to lose? Because I've seen
Absolutely not.
I've seen the monsoon game, which is another name for a game, by the way.
Yeah.
It was labeled Michigan State only won because it was a monsoon. Let me just remind everyone that both teams play in the same weather, okay? That's just needs to be said. But Grant, you agree?
Yeah.
No weather excuse?
I do have a what if.
What is your what if?
It's really extreme, but what if one of our teams had to go on a drive down 7 and it just starts dumping and it's the last drive of the game?
Proposal denied. Don't be down 7 at that point in the game.
Okay. What if it's middle of the game, it dumps for the drive, and then the rain goes away, and it's perfect weather the rest of the day? And that team that was driving, ball falls out of their quarterback's hand or they fumble.
Proposal denied.
Okay. If you guys won't, I will not.
I will not. Weather will never be an excuse.
Okay.
Except for our flag football game. That really screwed us.
Another question. What if it's the end of the game? What if at any point in the game, a team's attempting a field goal and a massive gust of wind comes in and just blows it wide?
Proposal denied.
Oh, I thought that one had a chance.
Yeah, so no weather excuses.
Okay, weather's not a factor.
Now I think we should move into uniforms.
Okay, yeah, you guys take this one because I don't really care. Or no. Or
Well, you wrote it down, so you wanted to discuss
No,
it.
these are Evan's.
Oh.
Evan and I filled this puppy out.
Evan, uniform prediction.
Uniform prediction: Michigan State is going to come out in all black, new Nike Pro Combat uniforms.
It's
Why are you
not,
shaking your head?
it's not happening. Dude, it's not happening.
Why are you shaking your head?
Because it won't happen.
Oh, but you think we're going to break out the uniforms that we wore 5 years ago?
No, I haven't given my uniform prediction yet.
Well, let me just pull up the text message receipts.
Do it.
Is there something in there
Well,
that
we don't
have
need
same
numbers.
black uniforms? You guys keep talking and I'll look.
No, not that. Cody sent a picture of the green jersey we wore against Oregon several years ago and said, are we wearing these? And I said, I saw some smoke on Twitter about it. You never know.
What day is this? 1 sec.
Probably Thursday.
No. Okay, I have a crazy text from September 16th from Evan Cadmus.
I discussed black uniforms in the preseason.
No, you shut your mouth and let me read this text from September 16th.
Okay.
Everyone close their eyes.
Do we actually have to?
Yes. I would, but I'm reading. Picture this. It's Halloween night. I think he meant the day before Halloween.
It's Halloween weekend. Yeah, correct.
Oh, Evan's been on this black uniform train for a while.
Shut your eyes. It's Devil's Night Eve. You have been drinking all day, consuming football nonstop. Evan, Alex, close your eyes.
Dude, I'm not actually going to close my eyes.
Waiting on the 8 p.m. kickoff. That one hurts to read out loud.
Between
Between Michigan and Michigan State. Gus Johnson is on the call.
Accurate.
Correct. And Mel Tucker leads the Spartans out in all black uniforms. Alex Gillen responds, if that occurs...
Can't leave that in the show.
Yeah, you can. You have to.
No, you're
You
not.
have to.
Not
You
leaving
have to.
me talking in the show.
I will. All right.
All right, so Evan says all black. And what kind of helmets are we talking, Evan?
We're talking all black. We're talking a bigger, but not slightly at that big. Just the regular Spartan
Wait.
logo.
Sorry, Evan. Breaking news. That was from September 16th, 2020. That was well over a year. That's insane.
Because that was announced when the schedule got released.
Because we thought COVID was going to cut the season, and we were all talking about, like, what? And then you're, like, already, like, guess what? All black. 2020 season. Wow, that's crazy.
If they were all black, yes. So just a regular white Spartan head on the black helmet.
No, green.
With the white outline.
Green with a, I wouldn't say white. I would say like a metallic silver chrome outline, so it pops underneath the lights, but there are no
with it. All right, Michigan. White, normal helmet.
They might go blue. I don't know.
Nah.
They might go blue pants because
I hope they
Wisconsin.
don't wear yellow pants because those are ugly.
I don't think they will. I wouldn't mind it because
Have
they
they ever
haven't done
worn
it.
yellow pants with white?
Not under Harbaugh.
I was going to say, that's not a good one.
That was like that was the only uniform combo before Harbaugh, and then he brought. Well, I guess when Harbaugh played, they used to wear white, so he like revived that as like a tradition thing. But like Tom Brady, all those teams, and Devin Garner and Denard Robinson, they all wore maize pants. But I don't really care. I'm cool either way.
I think Michigan State will wear.
The all white gets super dirty at Spartan Stadium though, like from past games. It's usually raining, and they just come out like basically covered in green by the end of the game.
I think Michigan will wear their, normal white. And then I think Michigan State will wear green helmet, green face mask, green jersey, green pants. So,
That's 2018 attire, 2016. They wore that one of the matchups. I thought it looked good.
They've never worn a green face mask against Michigan.
What?
They've only worn a green face mask with their current green helmet one time in this last year against Ohio State. It's a new helmet. New. So it's not a new helmet, but it's a new color face mask.
All right. So that covers some of that logistics. I would say the other logistics would be the game day show situation. There was some more news of it. College game day. I think you owe us an apology because you basically, without saying you're going to go there, chose Ohio State versus Penn State. Penn State fumbled that bag. So that happened. And then Barstool announced they are coming to East Lansing that day. So there's already Fox. Big Noon Kickoff is on site. Saw the teaser today on TV.
We're actually doing our show with the Barstool. Yeah, they asked us to join shows.
We'll be drinking, tailgating.
Oh, dude.
And then Fox is there, Barstool's there, and Alex was telling me there's. Oh, Evan, you sent us a tweet that there's smoke that game day is coming.
That's
so, any thoughts about that?
I think there actually is a little bit smoke with that because usually game day announces their location Sunday afternoon, and they have not announced it yet.
It is weird.
So I think they're trying to work out travel arrangements and locations. They can't step on any toes because if it's Fox here, then obviously game day can't be anywhere near where Fox is. So I think it actually is a good chance it's happening. Because then Kirk can just go down a quick private jet fly down to Columbus for the night game.
You won't even have to be quick.
A little PJ. Yeah. Now, people may not care about this, but my brain, I have to ask, what logistically, where are these shows going to probably set up? Like, if there's 3 of them on campus, how is that going to all fit?
I think Barstool will have to go to like a frat. I think Fox will already be on Munn. Game day would probably be by the Beaumont Tower.
Munn's like by the baseball field, right?
No.
What?
Munn is
right past
next
Munn Field, right next to the stadium.
It's next.
Right
It's
next to
sandwiched in
It's
between the
front
Breslin
of
and Spartan
Munn
Stadium.
Arena.
Is it next to the field hockey field? The soccer field?
Yes.
No, this
You pass like a
field hockey.
You pass like a
field hockey. Yes,
field hockey, and then there's like a band practice field. It's also like a soccer field.
Right by that.
It's right next to it. It's a ginormous open grass lot.
It's across from it or closer to Breslin that way.
Do you know where we tailgated our first several years of college?
How could I
The
forget?
Breslin Center parking lot. So not towards leaving towards the expressway, the other direction towards Spartan Stadium. One lot over is Munfield. It is a
So the
giant
old
grass
tailgate
field.
spot would have been like basically right where Big Noon Kickoff will be.
It's like a walk over. It's a
Nice.
lot over.
And then, what do you guys think with game day? Would they shove that in? Where'd they
Beaumont
go?
Tower. That's where they've been once before.
Is that where they did for Oregon?
No, they didn't mind
No.
for that.
They went to Beaumont Tower for the Ohio State Michigan State game in 2012.
Also
like,
a noon game.
Just like in one of the like grass openings where all those sidewalks intersect around there.
It was pretty clustered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is clustered over there. Okay, well,
That's probably what they're trying to figure out.
I
So
wonder
they
how
can,
that. Yeah, that is really weird.
Barstool definitely going to be at like a frat. Or
Like
maybe a bar.
Fiji.
No.
I mean, one of the production sites, they could go in on a demonstration field an open grass lot right by I and West.
That would make sense. I didn't think.
I just don't know if people have that reserved for tailgate or not.
Or they could just go on. No, they wouldn't let them do that.
I have so I guess logistics are kind of covered now. Before we get into actual game talk, I'm curious what for this rivalry. We all have our quirks and how we get through it. What is your guys' coping mechanisms to get you to the game? With all the anxiety and nervousness and hatred that'll be out there this week. What are your guys' strategies to get through that in the best manner?
I'm going to try to avoid Shot of Michigan Sports Twitter feed. I'm going to look at my own Twitter feed only because I can't stand all the bickering between both parties, and we're a non-biased podcast, so we follow both parties. And then secondly, what I like to do is, just dive deep into fantasy football for the week so I don't even think about it. Make sure my lineup is just superb for the week.
Evan, how do you get through it?
I'm completely opposite direction. I embrace the rivalry, and I just bombard my entire life. It's all I consume. I have a really good tradition with myself. Any big matchup, I just go to YouTube and start watching every single past victory on YouTube. And just watch it nonstop. I'll mix in some hype videos in there and just get my body so ready to think I'm going to run through the tunnel and actually play it now.
I love it. You don't watch any defeats in case for the other side?
Confirmed. I do not watch any defeats.
See, my biggest question that I've been wrestling with is do I watch last year's highlights to prep myself for if it goes bad? I don't know if I should do that.
Yeah. I
might just watch 2016 and 2018 and just be the woodshed gives me good memories. That's a happy place. Things can be okay there. I don't know. I really don't know what to do. I think to relax myself, I'm going to take a page out of Frank Garza playbook and do some deep breathing that he does with Luka. That breathing they talked about. I think I'm going to get into that. I'm just going to start I'm going to be sitting crisscross like Kyler Murray in the end zone on a rug in our living room and just breathing. You know what? It's all right. None of that matters. Big picture stuff matters. Or maybe I'll just try to find a hobby this week that keeps me away from it. I don't really know, but
it's just a football game.
It is. They're just kids. I'll just tell myself they're basically 18 years old. They're younger than us now. I'm not really allowed to get that mad at them, even though I know I will get mad at them.
Yeah.
Anything that you guys do post game? What do you guys do post game? If things go good and things go bad?
If we win, I embrace every single ounce of social media and articles and videos. Oh my God.
Do you trash talk people? Are you a trash talker? Do you go after people?
No. Unless they've been giving it to me during the week and just telling me how sweet they are. Maybe one listener of this podcast might get a few chirps from me.
Wow.
But we'll see. Overall, I tend not to just get on Twitter, and I don't like to bully people after we win.
You don't fire up the burner accounts?
No, I just like to embrace the win and see all the glory from the win. No burners.
I'm much of the same. I wouldn't say I attack anybody on social media. It's not who I am. But,
Except, wait, pause.
I will read them, and I will laugh, and I will probably send them to all my friends. Look what this guy said. But leaving the stadium, on the other hand,
oh no.
Do I say things out loud? Do I chirp people, and hopefully somebody hears it and says something back? Absolutely. And that's it's just fun for me.
I love that.
Have a minor run-in with a fan when the trouble with the snap game occurred. I was at the big house, and some mean words were said. But that's it. That's the only time I've ever been that disrespectful in a win.
In wins, I just go right to the team's verified social media accounts to try to get the live reactions, see all the celebration. Just soak it in. I don't really fire off in group chats. I don't think from my past. I don't suck it. I don't say stuff like that. I don't care. In losses, it's kind of been a two-pronged. If it's like in Ohio State games is more like okay. In Ohio State games, it's more just full on depression.
Fumble.
Where I just curl up in a blanket and don't do anything because it's depressing. In Michigan State games, I get more angry from past when they lose. I think my coping mechanism is I start scouting the hot seats in college football and the up and coming coaches, and I try to feel like who is going to be the new coach of this team next year. At least that's what I did last year. I got deep into like who was the hot name to figure out who's going to coach the team, and then I just kind of vent to other Michigan fans in separate group chats about how like disgusting this program is and can't figure out this game and win it consistently. That's pretty much what I do. And then last year when I was with all you guys, just hit the bottle, because that was like, what do? I am a lone wolf. You want to talk about Alan from The Hangover? I was a lone wolf. Live alone, die alone. Like, let's just start passing out orange juice and vodkas to people, including myself.
Yeah, I'll probably hit the bottle hard after a loss.
But it's Halloween this year, so it's going to be weird either way. I'm a little nervous about it.
No matter what.
I'm a little nervous how it's going to go.
Spooky season.
Okay, let's see. Another big picture one I see. Would you rather have a heartbreaking or blowout loss? Evan?
I'd rather have a blowout loss than a heartbreaking loss.
I'll take the blowout.
I'd go heartbreaking.
They both suck.
I've been through it. You get over it after a while, and I think it helps. Well, this year it's strategic because if you lose heartbreaking, there's a chance that you still can weasel your way into the playoff if you run the table. A blowout makes it harder. And also heartbreaking helps the whole argument of saying like, oh, well, we're not that much worse than you if you play good the rest of the season. Like
I'd like to flip my answer. I'll go heartbreaking.
Wow.
No.
You make great points.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Would you
Just because the trouble with the snap punt, every Michigan fan has to relive that every single year, multiple times.
Get numb.
And if you were in their shoes,
you know how often I hear Grant talk about how
yourself.
Michigan blew Michigan State out in 2018 at the Big House? I mean,
19.
all the time.
19.
Whatever. All the time.
I was over that game when
I was
left
over the
stadium.
loss. I just don't
witnessed
like
the entire thing.
Would your guys' most devastating, like that you were really conscious for Michigan State game just be the field goal game that was 12-10?
I don't really remember how I reacted to that.
I'm trying to think of like when Michigan's won, wasn't like like nothing can top trouble with the snap, at least, knock on wood, I don't know.
I don't think that can be top. No.
It'd be a Hail Mary type play, a crazy fluke play, but that when Michigan's won, it hasn't been that bad. I mean, and I guess the most tight one would have been that field goal game.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was disappointed, but I was at Evan's house and we were young hoodlums, so we probably just went and did young hoodlum things. GP.
I think I was more devastated after the 2018 game. Because Michigan came into Michigan State.
That was a tight game until it was into the fourth quarter. So yeah.
And I know Michigan State had zero offense that game, but we did score.
Philly special.
Can we talk about back to the what was it, 12-10 game? We were having a debate in the car on the way to the cider mill, and Evan was thoroughly confident that Le'Veon Bell scored that touchdown, and I would just like to say that Evan was wrong, and I was 75% correct because I could not name the player, but I knew it was a white tight end. And Evan was
legendary Paul Lang.
Yes, Paul Lang from Ant-Man. Isn't that the same name? Isn't that his name?
Paul Lang sounds like a rivalry trophy in college football. Like they play for the Paul Lang trophy.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll take the close loss because then it will feel like we still have the whole season in front of us. And, I don't have to go on Twitter and see how much better Michigan is. And there'd be a lot of fraud talk and all this other garbage. So I'll take the close loss. Thanks, Grant, for convincing me.
The F word will be out in force if one of these teams gets blown out.
Yes.
Bad.
Yes, it will.
It'll be tossed around like nobody's business. It'll go out of style. It'll be used so much.
Yeah. Maybe from the College Game Day crew.
I want to hear. I'm curious about your guys' answers for this. So it's a two-pronged one. Again, courtesy of Evan. What are you most confident in your team going into this game? The team you root for?
It's a tough one. It's a loaded question.
Loaded potato griller from Taco Bell.
It would be easy normally for me to just say, I think Michigan State can stop the run. This year, I don't think that's a clear, cut, and dry answer.
Whoa!
just based on what I've seen.
That's a flip flop from earlier in the year. You were so
Well,
when we did our Q1 report. You said, "I know Michigan State will stop the run this year."
I didn't say they wouldn't. I just said I wouldn't say that's something I'm most confident about.
Based on the score.com, they're 62nd in the country in rushing yards per game, about 121. I don't know. That's about.
I'm most confident
It's not that
in
bad.
Michigan State's athletes on the perimeter against Michigan's secondary.
All right.
My strength is Michigan State's wide receiver duo with Reed and Naylor.
Same thing.
Where does that weigh? Is that second best in the Big Ten now?
It has to be
Yes.
second best.
It is second best and always has been second best from the beginning of the year.
I did say it in the beginning of the year, and Grant laughed at me.
Yeah, I have more faith in Penn State. Sue me. Most confident in for Michigan.
Go with that.
I wrote a strength and weakness for both of
You did
these.
both?
Like keys to victory for both teams, Grant. So if you want my opinion, I can give it.
All right, I'll do confident for both. It just feels weird saying that about MSU, but I guess maybe I'll play it as like what I fear most about them.
Good spin.
What I'm confident in about Michigan, I don't know which way to spin it. Ooh, I just want to say the trenches. Like I feel good about the trenches for them. Like in the sense that they're not going to get embarrassed on either side. So I
That's
feel
not really a strength. Saying I'm confident they won't get embarrassed.
yeah, like it won't.
It feels like you're really trying to hedge.
like it won't turn into a weakness.
I want something that's a strength, not something that won't turn into a weakness. I want something you're confident in.
Okay, defensive line pressure. They were going to get QB pressure on the quarterback. I know that for a fact.
Thank you for giving something.
I feel good about that happening. Whether or not Michigan State moves the pocket and schemes around it, I don't know. I know there's going to be pressure put on Michigan State's offensive line in that game.
Something I respect the most out of Michigan. Oh, wait. Have you done your Michigan State respect?
No, I'll kick us off on the opposite side. So Michigan State, what I guess I fear the most is, I don't know if it's just recency bias of seeing the Northwestern kid do it, but it's just Kenneth Walker breaking big chunk runs. Something about that Northwestern run made me, I was like, well, if that guy's doing that, Kenneth Walker can do that like twice in the game. I don't know. It didn't make me feel good.
Something that I respect. I don't. Full disclosure, I do not fear anything on Michigan State.
Oh, don't hurt me.
I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that. Cut that up in case you need to show it on Sunday morning. But what I respect is their defensive line and their defensive ends. I don't fear them. Evan?
I would say Michigan's strength is their running back duo with Corum and Haskins. Haskins obviously clearly the better one. But I respect those two guys out of everybody on Michigan. It's somebody that you have to account for. Is like, okay, if those two have a good game, then it's not going to look good for Michigan State.
I would have went that, but that felt too chalky.
And it also puts a lot of pressure. What I've noticed we've seen, especially in the Washington game, is like your secondary players and your middle linebackers have to be super sharp of like who's in at what time, because that depends on how like your pursuit angles need to be, or how low like a lot of times people just don't get low enough on Blake Corum. They gotta make, hey, Blake Corum's in, so when he busts the outside, I need to take a wider angle than if I was chasing down Hassan Haskins. So now we go to the weaknesses of the teams and how you would attack it if you were a coordinator or coach in this game. Okay, the weakness for me, from what I've seen of Michigan State, falls on their defensive side of the ball. I'll go there. I think the edges of the defense is what I would attack. There's no surprise there. I've talked about the whole phone booth thing, and I'll answer that question. What will Grant do if Michigan wants to play in the phone booth? Well, I'll be hot on the coaching carousel market again. Like I said, I'll just be like, all right, what play caller is not going to just try to run a gap 3 times in a row against this defense? Because that's all I'm trying to figure out. So I've seen through Indiana. I saw like through Nebraska's kind of speed option attack, like the way to at least move the ball down the field on Michigan State is to have not just like we said, remember when I made fun of Michigan for doing like 2007 spread option offense where it's just like the most boring basic bubble? Don't do bubble screens like that. Do jet motion type deals. Run outside zones over and over and over again. That is I think the weakness of the Michigan State defense. Put pressure on the people to flow and make tackles one-on-one. Get your tight ends involved in blocking. Pull your offensive linemen. Get on the edges. That's how Michigan would attack that weakness. You guys do Michigan's weakness. How did you attack it? And then we'll have to go deep and tell our team's weakness.
I would say a weakness for Michigan. This is partially based on my eyes, partially based on Michigan fans themselves, and then partially based on actual statistics. But Michigan's linebacker and overall team speed on their defense, I think, could be considered a weakness. And so how I'd exploit it, I would like to get Michigan State going in a lot of crossers, similar to what Ohio State does, running guys all the way across the field, exploiting the middle, putting Michigan's linebackers on, Michigan State's speedy receivers, Naylor and Reed. I think they could cause quite a bit of mismatches, and that's what I'd like to see. So kind of similar to what Grant said Michigan State's weakness is, but a little different.
Michigan's weakness, I would say, is the passing game overall collectively, not just Cade McNamara, but the efficiency in the passing game. They're averaging less than 200 yards per game. Now, a lot of games they didn't need the passing game, but now that you're getting into the thick of the Big Ten schedule, you're going to need that. And can they trust their quarterback to do it when it matters the most? I'll attack it and I would show up early and often in man and challenge McNamara to hit the deep shot or to at least throw the ball in a tight window. Don't play the soft, bend, don't break early, and go to it if you have to.
Grant, a Michigan weakness.
Michigan's biggest weakness will be their one-on-one solo coverage on the outside, similar to last year's game. That was the glaring weakness everyone saw. I do not think it'll be as bad as last year, which isn't saying much because last year was atrocious. But I do think how the likes of Vincent Gray, Jamon Green, Daxton Hill, DJ Turner, how they fare in coverage, whether that be zone or man, but mainly man, like when they are one-on-one, how they do against Jaden Reed and Jalen Naylor. And even Trey Mosley, got to show him some love as well.
I have a weakness for Michigan State. Would be in the two games that they struggled in, Nebraska and Indiana, the offensive line struggled to get a lot of push in the trenches. So I'd consider that a weakness, I guess. And how to beat it, you just kind of have to work with what you have. But you can hand it off to Kenneth Walker. I'd like to see outside zone, try to get him out in space more.
No, that's my plan for Michigan. Please do not steal that. Michigan needs that.
Needs what?
To be able to run outside zone.
Okay, well, Michigan State.
You guys can't have that play. You're not allowed to use that.
If they're struggling to get push early on in the game, they need to go outside and try to run some outside zone, maybe some counters. Who knows?
Whoa.
Let's get crazy. I have a bunch of weaknesses I could go with here, but I went with that one because I know what Evan's going to say because he told me yesterday.
So you're saying Michigan State has a bunch of weaknesses. You just said that out loud.
No, that's not really what I meant. I meant Evan mentioned something yesterday. I didn't know if he was going to talk about it. Maybe
so Michigan State's weakness, I would say I kind of did this off of what I wrote down for Michigan's strength is. And so I would say it's our overall defensive scheme as a 4-2-5. You're lacking that third linebacker there. And if
that's a tough weakness to fix.
What?
Just the whole defensive scheme is a tough thing to fix in a week.
We got manhandled against a primary run offense against Iowa last year. Is because you don't have that extra guy down in the boundary. Now you're putting more emphasis on either the nickel safety or the strong safety come down and make a tackle on either a big-time running back, or you have to chip, or he has to take on a block with a tight end or offensive lineman and make the tackle.
So this is
It's like the weakness is the alley runs. It's not really the outside zones, but it's you get outside the box. It's who's covering the alleys. Now it's not a linebacker; it's a drop-down safety.
So you're saying which safety is going to...
The one-on-one tackles in space is not really a weakness, but it could show up in this game.
But so in order to like clog the box, I guess in this scheme, unless you change it a little bit and do different personnel, you basically have to walk down two safeties or two.
You're going to see Snow has been doing a good job against inferior opponents. Snow has been down in the box. Xavier Henderson has been down in the box. But those guys aren't linebackers. They're not bigger bodies. Can they tackle? Yes, I trust Xavier Henderson to make any tackle on the field. But you're also adding a lot for your safety. That's also responsible for pass coverage number one.
They actually have moved Henderson into like a linebacker role where he comes up quite a bit. So I think he'll be ready for that task.
I understand that, but if you're on a defensive call now, it's Snow, it's somebody else. I trust Gross a little bit.
Gross hits hard.
But it's still a weakness for now where you're filling the alleys with a safety and not a linebacker that's already there.
Oh, God. Jim's going to try to put Michigan State in a phone booth based on that analysis. I'm already nervous. I don't like that.
Oh, go watch the Iowa film from last year. And that's what Iowa just ran. They have a zone blocking scheme. It's different than Michigan's, where they just ran off guard, off tackle.
I guess that's kind of, we touched on it a little bit, but I'd like to hear the keys to the game of each team, like offense and defense. The key to the game, main thing that you've honed in on.
Evan, you need to go first because you gave me your massive key to the game, and I will steal it if you don't say it.
I got 2 keys for Michigan State offense, 1 key for Michigan State defense. For offensive first for Michigan State, 1 is move the pocket. There's definitely an advantage there with Michigan State's quarterbacks are more athletic than Michigan's quarterback. Move the pocket. Don't just stand back there and be alpha dogs and think that we can just block Michigan man on man. No, move the pocket and get the easy rollouts. And number 2 is get Kenneth Walker involved in the passing game. Right now, I think it's too predictable. Michigan State's offense, when he's out there, okay, it's going to be primarily a run or it's going to be a pass to a wide receiver. But if he's out there, got to get him involved. He only has like 4 catches on the year. And now when you bring like a third down back, they know it's going to be a pass. So I like to see Kenneth Walker more involved in the offense.
They've been saving the playbook. They've been holding back.
I hope so. Spin zone, we've been saving it.
Do you want to do your defensive or do you want to save that one and we'll loop back through?
Up to you, man. You tell me when.
Hit us with it.
Hit me.
Okay, so I said I touched on it a little bit early, but man up now on defense.
Okay.
Get home with your blitzes, but man up on defense finally.
Oh, I'm such an idiot. Evan, I thought you meant just like be tough.
Man up.
Just be a man. You mean like coverage.
Coverage-wise, man up a little bit more aggressive. I think Ryan Williams has played well the last couple of games. I trust him a little bit more on Michigan's number 1 wide receiver, whoever that is. But
whoa, easy, Braylon Edwards.
Grant, you want to go?
Who is your number 1? Is it tight end? I'm not scared at all.
It's Cornelius Johnson would be the number 1
Grant,
option.
Let's sprinkle Michigan in the middle of this. Give us your keys.
Let's not sprinkle them. Let's give them their due. Okay.
Tell me why they're going to lose.
Keys to the game for Michigan is kind of like Evan said, 2-pronged on offense. I can really only think of 1 on defense. Offense is red zone offense.
Someone just fart.
No, like this iHome is kind of like sometimes. So
Thought I haven't ripped it.
Michigan is red zone offense. We've seen a lot of, even honestly for both these schools, it's been a big bend, don't break mentality for these defenses. You saw it, again, could be recency bias, but I just see the Indiana game and how it went for them. Indiana moved the ball pretty swimmingly down through the 20s on several drives and then kept stalling out in the red zone. So Michigan has to get 7 points when they get down there. And then a way I think they're going to be able to do that easier, this is the second offensive key for me, is the trenches on offense. If Michigan can get one of their running backs over 100 yards and get the other one on the way to 100 yards and can get around 200 rushing yards as a team, I think they'll have a very good chance of winning the football game and will likely do so. Because I haven't seen enough to really feel comfortable relying on the passing game to carry a team through the game. And so if you try to say Nebraska, what worked for them is they stuck to the run and they continued to run the ball even though they were down at points, and that is what kept them in the game. So being able to move the line, run the ball with Corum and Haskins using them, and then finishing those drives in the red zone will be the keys of the game on offense. On defense, while I said the weakness was the secondary, I'm not going to say the key to them is to step up. The key is for the defensive line to get enough pressure to make up for any lapses they have. So I would just say overall pressure on Michigan State. It's basically the key can be summed down to just the trenches on offense and defense. If you can get push against Michigan State's offensive line on whether it be passing plays or doing enough. Like I know Kenneth Walker is likely going to get his, and by get his I mean like wouldn't be surprised if he gets to around 100 yards. Like that's going to happen. He's a great player. You just got to do enough where he's not getting massive chunk plays and just flipping the field in one run. And I need a couple sacks. I already see a strip sack happening. I need it.
Michigan State's keys.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, I would like to see Michigan State clean up tackling. Can't have a bunch of missed tackles. You need to wrap up good form, bring them to the ground. Haskins and Corum break a lot of tackles. So tackling, it's football. It's a big key. And then other defensive key, I would love to see Michigan State dial up pressure. I'd like to see them really get after Cade. And like Evan said, put corners on an island and just, see if Cade can beat you. But I'd assume that if Michigan State puts a bunch of pressure on Cade, he could get flustered early, and that could lead you the rest of the game. Offensively, my one key, more so I just want to see this because I haven't seen it this year, is getting a tight end involved in the offense helps open a lot of things up. And I know Tyler Hunt is not some flashy tight end, and Connor Hayward is like a H-back tight end, but I think you need to get those players involved. It opens up your entire offense, and it allows you to also throw to your good skill players and Reed, Naylor. And then I do agree with Evan. Passing the ball to Kenneth Walker could be a big X factor as well. But those are my keys.
It's a surprising offensive key, I'd say. I wasn't expecting that.
Got to go outside of the box. You guys all went first.
Another thing to watch, a big theme of last year's game was Michigan putting themselves in terrible positions on third downs, third and longs. As I look at the stats between the two teams this year, assuming they're updated from the score, Michigan is 46.5% on third down percentage, 34th in the country. Michigan State right now is 36.9%, 122nd in the country. So if those get closer to the middle, I think that'll make it obviously a tighter game. And I just know, like, as fans, like, every third down is going to feel like the biggest play in the game. So just mentally keep track of how each team is doing on third down in that game. Because it's going to be devastating when your defense has a chance to get off the field and you don't. And then the drive keeps going, you're like, oh, geez.
Other main key for both teams, win the turnover battle.
Score more points.
Win the turnover battle. It's always important.
You guys see how many turnovers you guys see in this game?
2.
Total?
1 per team.
I see 1 per team. I agree.
That's what I said.
The last written down question, now people might have more than they thought of. Which QB gives Michigan the best chance to win this football game? Both.
Bad answer.
Sprinkle them both. To win this football game, to win this specific football game, the best chance.
Answer the question.
God, dude.
If Michigan can't run the ball or struggle to do their normal run production, I think the obvious answer here is J.J. McCarthy.
I'm going to say Cade McNamara is the best chance going into this football game, solely because I don't know what, in my brain, in my gut, I feel like Michigan will, not going to like run Michigan State's doors off, but I do think they're going to be able to have enough success running the football where they can keep the offense balanced and not have to rely on the pass. Obviously, this is going into the game. If we get to halftime and Michigan is, let's say, losing 10-0, totally fine with rolling with J.J. McCarthy to start the second half and get a spark on the offense. If you were asking me who gives Michigan the best chance to beat Ohio State right now, the games on Saturday, it's J.J. McCarthy, just because you need a ceiling play. I still think Michigan's ceiling's higher with J.J. McCarthy, but there's something about when you go to Michigan State, you want to minimize damage control and not beat yourself, especially at this point. And I think Cade's the best option right now to do that.
Evan?
I don't feel great about it, though.
I would have to say Cade McNamara.
Roger that.
Alex?
I'll go JJ.
To win this game.
Yep. I don't think Cade is good. That's not a hot take. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. Maybe it's hot to you.
No, I think he's average. I think he's an average quarterback. He's vanilla ice cream.
I'd take Jake Rudock over him. Is that extreme?
Would you?
I think they're like the same. I don't know.
I would.
They feel the same. I'm not.
Definitely feel the same.
They feel people. I think Jake Rudock had a really good second half, and his Florida stats in the bowl game will probably skew it. But I don't like throughout that season, it feels pretty similar of a quarterback. Honestly, all Michigan quarterbacks essentially feel the same outside of Joe Milton.
Shea Patterson or Cade McNamara? I'll take Shea Patterson.
I guess I'd have to go Shea because he actually did it. Like, he won this game twice. So I'd have to take Shea. So, yeah, I would take Shea.
Evan?
No, I'll take Shea Patterson.
But I don't know. I mean...
Cade or Denard?
If, like...
Now let's throw the extreme.
The craziest is, like, what I'm expecting. If Cade just has 55% completion percentage for 225 yards and a touchdown or 2 touchdowns and no picks, that's a fantastic performance for me. Like, that's fine. That's
Cade or Denard, and then we'll move on.
But that stat line, I think, is almost too much for him. I don't think he can do that.
Yeah, true. That might be asking too much.
That's why I'm asking.
He can do 2 touchdowns.
Cade or Denard?
He can do 2 touchdowns with 55 passing yards, yes.
Yeah. No.
Cade or Denard?
Yeah. Cade. In this game. Because if it was Denard
throwing that ball all over the rock.
Yeah, it'd be too dangerous. I don't know.
Evan?
I would take Cade. You know my opinion about Denard.
This offensive line probably would help Denard quite a bit, though. I feel like he'd run pretty well behind them, but no. I mean, you guys beat Nebraska. I don't know. It's be a similar type of offense. I feel like you'd have to run if you had
JJ or Peyton Thorne?
So far through the season, Peyton Thorne. College career, TBD. I don't know.
Evan?
Peyton Thorne.
College career.
It's going to be Peyton Thorne.
Confident.
I like
Tate
that.
week. Do we move into the predictions?
Predictions and must win. And anyone else think of any last minute ones? I feel like we covered the majority of the game there.
Yeah, I mean, my next question is who's going to win the game? Who's going to win the football game?
So I have Michigan State in my casino as minus 2.5. So keep that in mind with any predictions here.
Grant does not own a casino for anyone who thought he was serious.
Correct. In Grant's mind, it's Michigan State minus 2.5. I will say that, well, first of all, I'm very curious about the must-win meter because it's going to be weird this week. We have to do a big logo of Michigan versus Michigan State, and then the bottom is going to be big Michigan State versus Michigan. It's the same game, but it has to be for each team. This is a must-win for Michigan football. Anyone that thinks that's dramatic did not watch last year's game. I don't feel icky at all saying that. If they had lost, if Michigan had lost a game, the only reason this is not a fire someone upon loss is because they are undefeated to this game. If Michigan had
Seems
lost,
like a loser mentality.
No, because if they lose this game, there's still the chance of going to where you need to go. Right? I'm not gonna be like, I'll promise you this. If they make the Big Ten championship game, but they lost to Michigan State, I'm not gonna throw a pity party like, oh, but we lost to Michigan State. I don't give a okay, you got to the Big Ten championship game. I really don't care.
F word.
Yep, I used it because I'm serious about it.
All right, I agree with you.
So it's a must win. It is a very important game. You have to win it because 3-3 under Harbaugh. You need to be 4-3. You need to be on the right end of that record. And you got embarrassed last year, and you're still trying. You beat Northern Illinois. You're still avenging the ghost of Rocky Lombardi. Rocky Lombardi is
thankfully not playing.
He's buried underground, but his hand's still right there. It's peeking through. You just got to poke that hand back down by winning this game, and I can forget all about it. So it's a must win. And I will go 27-24 Michigan.
You have to give your must-win for Michigan State, too, for the graphic purposes.
For Michigan State. It's a must-win. You can't derail the momentum you've built under Mel Tucker. I think it's a must-win.
Evan, to you.
This series is 10-10 in the last 20 years. There's been like 6 ranked matchups over the last 20 years.
Are you about to say what I think you're about to say?
What?
No, you can't because Auburn, Alabama. But I thought
Michigan's won the last 2.
No, I thought you were about to
Spartan Stadium.
I thought you were about to say this is the greatest rivalry in college football.
I mean, well,
it's
more competitive than the one that you think is the greatest.
Is it top 3?
No. Continue.
I mean,
Auburn, Alabama.
Army Navy's number 1. It's not even close to anybody else. So.
Army Navy, Auburn, Alabama, Michigan State.
The problem is, Grant, that these teams are not always playing on the national stage.
No, I know, but like objectively, I would take Jared Goff over Carson Wentz. I'm saying objectively speaking, like if you took the names off the teams, I think you look at this as this should be a top 5, top 3. I didn't say what I said initially.
I don't know. Would have to do more research. Not willing to say that.
All right, Evan. Lay it on us.
This is the biggest rivalry game in this series in history. This
Agreed.
game matters the most.
I'm glad we answered that.
Out of any game, this game has mattered the most. Both teams are undefeated. The loser has a tough hill to climb as they don't control their own destiny, but the other team controls their own destiny not only to the Big Ten championship, but to the college football playoff.
Oh my God.
Even just mentioning that is blasphemy. But continue.
What? Why?
It would be. I mean, we got people excited for this.
I think he just saw Carson Wentz's interception.
I don't think so.
He's probably playing.
It would be the most signature win of the year from anybody, I believe. Situations and team versus team aspect. Noon game. I don't know who it helps.
Michigan. I'll answer that question. I feel like it helps Michigan.
Don't think it makes a difference.
I think it does. It will make a difference eventually at some point.
Because, like, we all know, we can be honest, unless the ticket situation is like 60-40, if this was a night game, Michigan's going to have like at least 3 false starts on their first possession. It's going to be deafening in that stadium. It still will be loud at noon, but it's not going to be nighttime loud. I think it helps Michigan in the start of the game, 100%.
Must win, Meter Evan.
Must win. It is a must win. It's a rivalry. We don't care about the team down the road. It is a must win. If you want to control the state, you got to beat the other team in the state.
Must win for Michigan. Both must win.
Yes, both must win. I mean, Jim Harbaugh can't go below 500 against your rival. I'm not making excuses for the other losses. So, must win for them as well.
Score prediction.
And the prediction.
Score prediction. I have.
I love when they have dates on it.
I have Michigan State. Michigan State 31, Michigan 23.
That's so close to what I'm going to say.
But flip.
Should have went before me, sorry.
Michigan State must win. Michigan must win.
Must win. You'd be the closest to 50-50 guy if I had to pick one.
No, I hate Michigan. You always should win. It's always a must win.
You always should win. So in 2019, they should have won all those. Like you were like devilishly disappointed.
Yes. Wow. Anytime you lose to Michigan, it's a disappointment.
Well, you've told me off this podcast, I hate to air it out, that you like weren't expecting good things in 2019 games, so you didn't even really care.
I could have
another stat for you, Alex. 11 of the last 20 games have been decided by one possession.
Oh my God.
Well, not this one. Michigan State wins 31-21.
There it is, folks. We'll see it on the graphics.
Must win meter is, you said must win for both of them.
For double must win. Honestly, close. You can put me, for the sake of this podcast and the sake of, fans getting mad, fire upon someone upon loss if you're Michigan.
Really?
Yeah.
It'd be that bad.
Yep.
Feels extreme. And I love to go to fire upon loss. No one loves that column more than
I'm not saying fire Jim. We got to fire some.
If it's bad play going, Gaddis, pack your bags.
Are you guys going to throw the fraud word out with any of those scores to the other program?
No.
Let's get ahead of that. Are you
No.
going to call the other school a fraud?
No.
I will not color the other school a fraud.
Not the school.
The school would be a fraud if Michigan lost 33-7 to Northwestern. Then their team's a fraud.
So we
Losing a
agree,
close
no
game
matter
to
who
a rival-
loses, the other team is not fraudulent yet.
No, I won't make that
Regardless
claim.
of result.
Depends on the score.
All right, so you might be dropping F words.
For both, yeah,
And not the word.
for both ways. If let's say if Michigan does what they did to Washington to Michigan State's a fraud. And if Michigan State wins by two,
Also one possession game in the fourth quarter.
if Michigan State wins by 2 touchdowns or more, Michigan's a fraud.
How many points?
Michigan State turns Michigan into the Miami game. What are you saying?
They score 3 touchdowns late to blow them out.
Fraud, because you laid down and died. And Miami didn't look good. It's also eye test feel. Like that's why with the Michigan-Washington game, like it was like they're just bullying Washington, and I know Washington can't score the football, so they're frauds. So it's gonna be eye test.
All about the eye test.
So there is a strong potential for fraud.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be a field goal or less game. Like I think it's going to be super tight.
It's going to be a one possession game.
Yeah.
Hold on to your butt cheeks because strap in. Hope you drank a little bit because your nerves will not be able to take the outcome.
It isn't. It's going to be 10 points one way or the other.
This is the biggest game that we have all collectively have attended in our lives. This is the biggest game. This game means more to Michigan State right now than the Michigan State Big Ten championship game against Iowa that we attended, Alex.
Whoa.
This game means more.
No,
I'm not going.
This game means more, and that's 100%. That's how I feel. This game means more than that game.
I'm not going to that level.
I am
winning the Big Ten,
and it's not even close.
Whoa! I cannot get in that boat with you. I'm sorry.
I am hopping in that boat. Yes, you don't. Okay, so you look back at the other one. Okay, we played 4 versus 5 matchup. Yes, we got to go to the playoff. Got shellacked. We won the Big Ten.
We won the Big Ten. Lift a trophy. Okay. It's a big deal. This is.
I understand it's a big deal. Iowa turned around and got to go to the Rose Bowl. This game, you're facing your arch rival, the team that you absolutely don't respect. Quote.
Wrong. I said I sort of respect them.
The fans on Twitter for Michigan get under your skin and you hate everything about them. You can't stand their bad takes and their excuses for the program every time they lose. This game means more than that game.
I'm sorry, I just can't because winning the Big Ten is what we watch all these games for.
I understand, but this game has a chance for us to win the Big Ten right now. The loser of this game will not make the playoff and will not win the Big Ten.
Oh,
I think that's an extreme guarantee.
That is 100% guarantee. The loser of this game will not be in Indianapolis.
I can tell you right now that both Michigan teams are not beating Ohio State. Whichever team does, if either do, that team is winning the Big Ten and going to the college football playoff. They could easily lose this game too, and then just win that game and then still make it. Could still happen. So I think that's a harsh guarantee.
I like it, though. I like harsh guarantees. This is also making me nervous, a little pro transition here, like how big this is. I'm worried about everyone's mental state.
I'm just going to say I'm really worried
on our drive to Ford Field on Sunday, the 31st.
I'm really worried about Evan's mental state if Michigan State loses.
And for that night, too,
Just
like
that whole afternoon.
So we're driving, the boys, us and guest appear Luke on the pod. We'll be heading to Ford Field for Detroit versus the Eagles. We will be in attendance to will the Lions to their first win of the season, so they do not go 0-17. I don't know the spread on that game. I'll try to find it. Would we all agree this feels like probably their best chance to win this year?
I agree.
I think it 100% is their best chance to win, and the spread would indicate it they're only 3.5-point dogs at home.
So basically 6.5 according to Evan's metrics.
Sure.
DraftKings has 2.5. Not a sponsor.
Okay, so even closer on DraftKings. So
Grant is a FanDuel guy.
Shop the line, folks. Shop the line. I don't have any preview for it. I just think, like, like I said, if you're a Lions fan and you'd like to see them win, I know I said you should prioritize your family, but it's Halloween. It's not a family holiday. You should probably dial into the Lions because it's probably going to be their best. No, stop saying probably, Grant. It will be their best chance to win this year. Going into the game.
Prediction must win here.
Well, you already know it's a must win because it's your best chance. If you lose this game, you're going 0-17. Print the t-shirts. Get the buzz in the locker room going. You need to win this game. It's a must win, like I said. And to win this game against an Eagles team, you are going to have to win 28-25 Lions.
Maybe fire the ball boy upon loss. I'll
Really?
go must win.
Really?
I can move my head a little bit more towards that. This is a game you got to win.
Wait, towards fire or 50-50?
Towards fire.
Oh, whoa. Wow.
Not any of the actual coaches, but just like, I'm going to say something you can't say that. I can't bash the organization. Anyways, I think it's a definitely must win.
Kick Chris Spielman out of the Ring of Honor.
No
on loss.
Extreme. Win the game. I think the Lions do win the football game.
Really?
And I think they win it easily.
No way. Those words in that sentence do not exist. Easily Lions win. Never. Not
easily.
This year.
24. No. 28-17.
Heaven. You might need a zag here.
Lions.
We can't all have them winning in a must win. Well, we could.
It's a must win.
Eagles are not very good.
They're bad. They're terrible. Miles Sanders is also done. They didn't give him the ball anyways, though.
Expecting a loss because it's the Lions. I hope they do win. Expecting a loss, but low-key think they could win.
Like that.
Chris Spielman might dress up and just play because of how bad we are. But I'm going to say Lions 25, Eagles 24. We win finally on a game-winning field goal. We turn the tide.
So, Evan, you're expecting a win, but wouldn't be surprised if you lost based on that prediction.
I wouldn't be surprised for the loss because I kind of want to lose for the first pick, so we have Thibodeau.
No, we're still got that wrapped up.
No, not really, because if we win, then we're tied with like 4 other teams. So
Yeah, but we won't win another game.
Dang, I'm looking at the Eagles' schedule. This could be a get-right game for them because they haven't played that bad of teams. Yeah, we might be in trouble.
it's okay.
Like, they've kept Tampa within field goal or within 6 points. Yeah, I don't know.
They lost to San Fran by 6.
We'll see.
We'll beat them.
I did do this, a little 2-minute drill. I'll set the timer. Blabber about anything you want to get off your chest about Pistons and Red Wings. Starting now.
Cade Cunningham needs to play sooner than later.
Pistons are an offensive vomit fest. They're not enjoyable to watch right now. Red Wings, however, are enjoyable to watch right now. They are fast. They're younger. They're playing with energy. Did we lose to like 5-1 to one of the worst teams in hockey? Yes. But the defense is always a work in progress. Goalies are in work in progress. But this team is actually enjoyable to watch.
And they have the young stars you wanted on the Pistons. Cade will get there. They have those young stars on the Red Wings. As I'm looking at this, the Red Wings are winning 6-3 right now, and Lucas Raymond has a hat trick. So
Nice.
that's pretty sweet.
A hat trick.
3 goals, Evan, on 3 shots on goal, and 1 assist. He has 4 points himself. Evan might do something crazy.
Yeah.
Against the Blackhawks, the rival Blackhawks.
The Pistons will not make the postseason.
I'm not willing to go there yet. They don't have their best player.
I'm willing to go there. Yeah, we're not making the post.
Guys, we're gonna reinvent.
Will the Red Wings make the postseason? I will say no for now.
No, the Red Wings will not make the
Does
postseason.
finishing 10th and making the 10-7 matchup count as the postseason?
Yes, and they won't get there.
Oh, please. Easily. Just kidding. I don't want to say easily, but I think they can.
Can is a different
Think about when Cade joins, that's 20 more points, so you're scoring in the hundreds. He's going to produce 20 more points for the team.
Only other lingering thoughts. What do you guys think the cool new Pistons jersey is going to be that is not released?
Alex's Rumor Mill segment of the week presented by Codes Apparel. Rumor has it it's going to be red again.
Ew.
Boring.
Ew.
Thanks for ruining that.
Yeah.
I saw a leaked on social media.
Like the actual photo of it?
Mm-hmm.
I did
need
see
to-
it.
I need to
It's
go-
disgusting.
I need to find that then. And then
Will the Red Wings play in the NHL Winter Classic again soon?
No, not anytime soon. Not until we're like playoff relevant and like consistently good. I think they're trying
Damn.
to get more
Love
of
that
a.
game.
so this
They don't really care about like teams. They care about like location right now.
Got it.
And then the last thing, any thoughts on Halloween going into it? We can, I don't think we're going to touch on it that much next weekend because we're going to have the biggest game of our lives will be occurring.
Spooky season? Evan, what are you wearing?
Favorite candy? What are you wearing?
I love candy corn.
Oh, favorite candy. I am a chocolate snob, so any like chocolate candy bar. I did buy candy for myself for Halloween, so I feel good about that.
Pick what?
Yeah, hate me for you want. You have nobody buy it for you. You have to buy it yourself.
I bought a pack of candy for the apartment. We finished it all before Halloween, so that backfired. But yeah,
No, I bought 2 ginormous bags. I have like over 120 pieces of candy right now, so
I love
feel
that.
good.
my favorite candy is Reese's peanut butter cups. They are the GOAT. They are undefeated. They will never be matched.
Love those. I like Crunch Bars.
Ew.
And I love candy corn.
Yeah, I was alarming.
Oh, that was what we should talk about this weekend.
That was an alarming discovery. Made me rethink the podcast as a whole. That I was doing it with 2 psychopaths, serial killers that enjoy candy corn. And Evan, your thesis on people's candy tastes.
Yeah. Research is still undergoing. We might have a poll question hitting the Twitter and Instagram later this week. But I believe if you ate candy corn when you were younger, like let's say a kid, and you went over to your grandparents' house and they had it and you enjoyed it when you were a kid, you're more inclined to eat it when you're an adult. As to opposed to somebody first trying it when they're like in their teens, 20s, they're not going to like it.
It's like a 2-part question. 1, do you enjoy candy corn? Yes, no. The second poll, when did you eat it when you were a child? Yes or no? And then you figure it out.
That was already debunked.
No, it's still ongoing. It's not the
Oh, it's still ongoing. Just because one person said
Sample
no
size,
doesn't mean you
sample size.
debunk the research.
Partially debunked.
No, sample size too small. Inconclusive.
Absolutely. Inconclusive right now.
Last
Candy corn sucks.
question, Evan. Are you wearing your Halloween costume to the game, and what will you be wearing?
I will be basically living in my Halloween costume all weekend, starting Friday. Wake up, just be in it, and I think I'm just going to go as is.
Which is?
I am partnering up. I am Goose from Top Gun. RC, Rye Guy, is Maverick from Top Gun.
Nice. Alex?
I'm going to be...
Costume and when you're wearing it.
Not wearing it to the game.
And where you'll be for autographs.
I will be at the game for the autographs. And
Section 19, people. Go find them.
Yeah, correct. And I will also be partnering up with a friend of the program, Drew. And I'll be wearing a Happy Gilmore costume, and he'll be my caddy.
Nice. Mine, don't have it yet. I'm going solo dolo. Not sure what I should do for that. Was thinking Ted Lasso, but prices on Amazon are a little expensive. And I don't know about you guys, but Halloween costumes, it's always I kind of want to do it as cheap as possible just because I'm never going to wear it again, most likely. And then as far as East Lansing, I would like to tell people where they can maybe find us, but I don't want to give out any tailgating details because I'd like that lot
Secure that
to be as empty as possible. So maybe once we're in our lot, we will shoot out a "We are everywhere, we are wherever,
We are wherever.
we are wherever" photo to let you guys know where we're at. And then if we're out at the bars that night, you'll either get an exciting shot or a depressing shot of us at the bars.
You'll also get a We Are Wherever when we're at Ford Field on Sunday. So
Yep.
maybe come see us there.
Before we really close it out, you guys worked up any spin zones for if your team loses this weekend showdown?
None. No excuses. Can't lose this game.
I have not thought of a spin zone yet. For the rivalry name of this game is Hunt for Red October. On Devil's Night, into the woodshed, there's going to be blood.
Wait, that was so
That is...
It's Hunt for Red October, but the description for why it's called that, it's coming off of Grant's,
yeah.
bloodshed in the woodshed. There's going to be blood.
There has to be a Halloween. We'll have to workshop. There's a Halloween name in this game somewhere. We just gotta find it.
I'd like to call my name, if Michigan loses, Spooky Dookie. This is going to be the name of my
The
game.
Spooky Dookie.
Because Michigan took a fat duke.
If one team lays an egg.
Yeah, Spooky Dookie. Yeah, that'll be my name. If it's not close.
My spin zone, I know you guys are waiting for it. I'm just going to tell myself in the immediate aftermath that this was the best for the vibes of the weekend, since I will be with mainly all East Lansing people. I'll be like, oh, well. Oh, no, actually, wait, Evan. You'll love this. I told Alex this. He laughed at it. It's great. And I think it plays for you guys, too. Whichever our team loses, guess what? It's Cade Cunningham season. He makes his debut that night. I'm on to Cade, 7 p.m. Who cares about college football? I'm on to NBA basketball.
No spin zones, correct.
Cade season.
Take the loss and deal with it.
Oh, the problem is Cade McNamara is the quarterback, so Cade's going to be a trigger word that night.
Take the loss and deal with it.
All right.
Cheers.
I'm not plugging our social accounts. You know where to find us. Listen on Apple Pod, Spotify, or YouTube. Rate and review on all platforms. Submit your questions. Yeah, that's it. I do not have anything in my class. I'm not cheersing on an empty class on Hate Week.
All right. Then no cheers then this show because it's Hate Week. See you in the woodshed.
Evan has his cheers up, though. It's so depressing.
Cheers to sports.
Cheers to episode 43 and the hunt for Red October.
Cheers to great success.
Bloodshed in the woodshed.